Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. The D-Man here to inspire you and enlighten you with whatever I've been enlightened with in my life. I'm just passing it on to you. That's what I was told to do by my old mentor. One day when I was over there pissing and moaning to him about my girlfriend who dumped me, he said, "Go write a letter." And I'm thinking, he's going to make me mail this to her. So I did. I wrote her a letter. He said, "Now get that shovel." Okay, so we walked out to the garden to dig a hole. I needed somebody to tell me what to do because I was so messed up over that crap. I couldn't hardly think straight. It's like they get in your mind there and you just can't seem to let it go. And it has nothing to do with the other person. It's all inside your head. So we walked out to the garden. I dug that hole. And he told me to put the letter in there. I did. And I put the dirt back over it. And he says, "How do you feel?" "I feel better." He says, "All right, when you get big and strong like me," he said, "you're going to pass this on. It was passed on to me." He said, "You're going to pass this on to others." So that's what I do. I pass on what he taught me. He's gone now, died in a car accident, but I wouldn't be here today. Who knows where I would be if it wasn't for him and other men like him who have guided me along the way, who are older and wiser than I was. So I must do what he told me to do. So today I was going to talk about being real. That's what we talked about last night on the podcast. It was a great topic. I would suggest you watch that on the Power is Within live podcast Saturday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We spoke about that last night. What is being real? Well, we were talking about it in respects to when you're out with a girl or when you're dating someone. To be real, to be your authentic self. There's a lot of variables in that. If your authentic self is not much, then being real is going to get you kicked out the door. But then again, you don't want to be false either. But that's another topic. I don't want to talk about that today. I want to talk about, what do I want to talk about? I had a topic that popped up when I was thinking about talking about being real. Damn, how did I forget that? It'll come to me later. I'll go back to being real. What is being real? Being real in the moment, being who you are, being genuine. Here's the deal. If you meet a girl and you present this false image, this whatever it happens to be, this bravado, this appearance of something that you're not, she will see through that maybe pretty quick because women are very intuitive. Okay, very intuitive. But if she doesn't pick up on that right away, she'll pick up on it eventually. And guess what? She's going to be disappointed and you're going to be disappointed because she's going to dish you. And you're going to wonder why. Well, the reason why was because you weren't being your authentic self. Now, she may not have liked your authentic self. And if that's the case, you need to find out what women are attracted to, which is really just being a man. Do you know what a man is? What a man does? Find out what a man is, what a man does, what a man is supposed to be. A man keeps his word. A man stands up for himself and his family, his friends. A man does what he says he's going to do. He pushes through, he perseveres, he has persistence, he has integrity, he has tenacity. He's a strong, powerful, self-sufficient man. Okay, he does what he needs to do. He provides, he protects, many things. Look up what a man is supposed to be. Not a modern man, not a, what's the term I heard? Maybe I better not say it. I might get banned here. I won't say that word. I'm not sure what I can and can't say. Some people take things as hate when I really don't mean it that way, but we won't go there. But women are attracted to men. Even some of these masculine women, some of these women who think that they are equal. Now, I'll get some crap about that. I will never be equal to a woman in respects that I will never be able to have a baby and I will never be able to nurture and raise kids like a woman can because it's an inherent value they have that I'm not born with, okay? And a woman is never going to be able to get on the front lines of the war or get into a boxing ring and fight like I can. Now, they can get in there and fight, but they just don't have the same physical strength or emotional strength. I can do things as a man that a woman cannot do. Some pretty horrible things, what I think they call toxic masculinity. Sometimes those horrible things need to be done. A woman has a hard time doing those things unless someone's trying to kill her children and she loves her kids and she's a good mother. Then you better watch out, because they can do things you can't even imagine. But in general, they have a hard time. Let's give an example here. We're on the front lines, right? And here comes this little 5-year-old kid. He's wired with grenades. A woman is going to have a hell of a time shooting that kid. She will hesitate. It's where a man will cut him down. Okay? It's tough to live with something like that, but men have to live with things like that. As I was talking about my old sponsor, he was a Green Beret. He told me about things that he did in Vietnam that I won't mention here. Okay? He wasn't proud of it, but they did some pretty horrible things. But what people don't realize, when you're in war, you become very animalistic to try to survive. It's easy for us to sit back here on the TV and judge these people who have killed innocent men, women, and children, and been brutally sadistic to them, maybe, in their eyes, looking from the TV. But when you're out there fighting for your life, living in the dirt, you don't get to sit on the toilet stool and go to the bathroom and wipe your ass with a piece of toilet paper. Sometimes you just piss your pants, okay? Sometimes you shit your pants. How are you going to get out of the foxhole without getting your head blown off? You got to do these things. You do these things over and over long enough, you become somewhat animalistic. And you do what you have to do to survive. Do not judge those boys. They come back, it's tough for them. I had 2 friends that came back from Vietnam. They were both alcoholic drug addicts. They told me things, it's just, you have no idea. I don't. I wasn't there. But from what they told me, I don't want to be there. I feel like I'm about to sneeze here. But I'm going to try to do this. I don't edit my videos except the beginning and the end. So, to be real, you have to be your authentic self. But make sure that authentic self is a man. That is, if you want to attract a feminine woman, because you have to have polarity. There's feminine and masculine in all of us. And if there's not polarity there, it's like a magnet. You try to put a magnet, the 2 ends together, that whichever the negative or positive, they won't go together, but you turn them around and they'll stick. It's the same way with a man and a woman. If you have a man who's too feminine and a woman who's feminine, that's not going to work. If you have a man who's masculine, a woman who's feminine, then this works well. Okay, we have like a 50% divorce rate in the U.S. I think part of that reason is because we have a lot of women wanting to be men. It's amazing how they talk about the patriarchy, how they don't like men, how men have ruined things, but yet they cut their hair off, they want to shake hands like a man, they dress like men, they wear suits, they want to be in careers like men. Isn't that strange? They hate everything about what we've done. Not all women, just there's a group of them, but yet they want to be like us. Isn't that strange? We become what we hate, and we become what we love. We become what we admire. We become what how do you say it? I want to say distaste, but that's not the word I want to use. We become what we hate. If we hate something or we dislike something a lot, we focus on that. Part of that becomes us. We become part of that. Have you ever met someone who hated their father or their mother, but they become just like them? Many times we find ourselves doing the same things that our parents did to us, even though we hated that they done that to us. We may even hate them for doing that to us, but we become that. We find ourselves doing and saying the very same things. I remember my mother sometimes would never seem to appreciate what I did. And I would find myself in life with my kids not showing them the appreciation that I needed to show them. But because I can recognize that, because of introspection and self-inventory, I can go back to them and say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate that you did this. And I can focus on what they've done. I'm actually convicting myself as I'm talking to you, thinking about my daughter cleaning the kitchen the other night, and I was getting on her because she could do a better job. But I did go back and tell her that, hey, I don't want you feeling like it's never good enough. I just know that you can do better, and I want you to be your best and do your best. So if you look within yourself, you can find these things, and this is about becoming authentic. You'll never become authentic unless you first know who you are, the good and the bad. You must take an inventory of yourself. A business that doesn't take regular inventory goes broke, usually. Okay, you must take an inventory of yourself, otherwise you will go broke. What is happening in here that is causing this to happen out there? Attitude determines your altitude. It all happens in here first, before it ever manifests in front of your eyes. You create your world, or you step into the world you created, more or less, by your thinking, by your deep inner thoughts, your subconscious. How do I say? You consciously think you make these decisions, but actually they've been made before you ever take the action. They've done studies that show that this is true. It's amazing how science today is actually proving scientifically what the great sages and masters said thousands of years ago. How did they know all this? Well, they're just saying it now in different words. They did not have the words to use. For example, the Bible was written many, many, many years ago. Okay, regardless of what religion you are, what you believe, it is a book of wisdom, and that's the way I look at it. Many things that they're proving scientifically today, they spoke about in the Bible. For me, I take the religious context out of it, and I look at it as a metaphysical book that is a wonderful book of the consciousness of every man. That's the way I view it. I don't look at it as in a religious form. I know some people do, and if that works for you, that's fine. I'm just telling you what works for me. So, all these things you use to help build the inner man. So when you do meet this girl of your dreams, or when you meet any girl, or for that matter, any person, you have to be, if you're being your authentic self, these people will appreciate you. They can feel that. When I go to bid jobs for clients, I think I said this yesterday, I'm me. They know who I am, and they can see there's no bullshit in me, that I'm presenting myself as I am. Now, that doesn't mean I go up there and tell them that I got this problem with my girlfriend, or I've had this problem with my kids. I mean, as they start talking about things like that, I may share something similar with them that's happened to me. And when you can find similarities between you and the person you're talking to, this builds a rapport. And rapport is important in business and in intimate relationships. So if you want to show your authentic self, make sure your authentic self is something that you admire and are proud of. Then other people will admire that and be, well, they may not be proud of it, but they will be interested in you. If you have an authentic self that is worth knowing, it's as simple as that, really. But it will never happen until you look within and find out what's in there. What is inside of you? Who are you? I used to hate that question. Who are you? What makes you tick? What value can you add to the world? All right? I'm going to stop there. If you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com, and like and subscribe. Have a great day.